Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. The people know, man, the people know. Clearly, the people know what's going on. I don't know what exactly the Democrat establishment is trying to accomplish here. You know, there's one side that says that the Democrat strategy is to artificially promote Donald Trump, to basically turn him into a martyr to guarantee that he's the Republican nominee, because from their perspective, they'd rather go against Donald Trump than Ron DeSantis. And then there's the other angle that they're just trying to stop Donald Trump at any and all cost because they know that they can't beat him without resorting to these corrupt tactics. The whole Ron DeSantis angle, as if they'd rather Trump than DeSantis, not exactly sure about that one considering the polling data. I'm more inclined to believe that it's simply a continuation from 2017 to now of the endless witch hunt to destroy Donald Trump. They want him out of the way because they understand that he is the only current, clear, standing threat to the uniparty establishment. And so for the sake of this video, we're going to operate under that understanding. The Democrats are trying to destroy Donald Trump because obviously he's a clear threat to their power. Well, if that is their goal, if the goal is to render Donald Trump unelectable because of all of these criminal indictments, you can't vote for a criminal. If that's the goal, well, boy, are Democrats failing. The people know. Once again, Donald Trump is indicted, and once again, Donald Trump is surging beyond belief. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, we've already got the polling data from two separate pollsters. Let's first start off with the CBS report, which finds that the Trump indictment helps Donald Trump more than it hurts him.
Start with Republican primary voters, because we're in the heat of this campaign. They say it does not matter. They expressly say that this will not change their views. And maybe that doesn't surprise. They've been with Donald Trump for years, but what's interesting is the why. When you ask if they're more concerned that this is politically motivated or if there's a national security risk, they come down heavily on the politically motivated side. That's 76% of them saying that. And, you know, what's interesting about this is you juxtapose that against the broader public, who is much more split. And in many cases, the public says these aren't mutually exclusive. It can be in part both. But the Republican primary voter, Donald Trump is still on top. And this hasn't changed anything.
I'm sure leftoids are shrieking in horror. What is wrong with these Republican voters? How could they be more highly motivated to vote for a criminal facing criminal indictment? Where here's the thing, leftoid, Republican voters have this unique ability to critically think and, of course, observe nuance and double standards. You know, when Hillary Clinton responded to the Trump indictment with this tweet that we pointed out earlier, bringing this back in light of recent news, blah, 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 but her emails, gloating over the Trump indictment, while I understand that all you leftoids with your CNN brains simply clap like a bunch of seals, I'm with her, Donald Trump's a criminal. While I understand that that's the case for you, we, on the other side, have a little bit of a different reaction, especially when we're armed with the facts from James Comey's assessment of Hillary Clinton's emails back in 2016, where he wrote, and I'm quoting, you can see the document right over here, although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intending to violate laws governing the handling of classified information, no, of course, no intent. Hillary Clinton must have just been ignorant of the basic laws concerning her handling of classified information as a private citizen in a private capacity. There is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. We know that Hillary Clinton is actually guilty of what they're accusing Donald Trump of. We also know that Hillary Clinton's staffers smashed their cell phones and smashed hard drives, BleachBit hard drives, to cover up evidence of criminal wrongdoing. So maybe armed with, you know, the basic facts and basic nuance over here, we're not instantly willing to jump on the bandwagon that Trump's a criminal and this indictment is legitimate. Oh, but the documents. CBS's Catherine Herridge, during that same segment, goes into some of the details pertaining to these documents.
Catherine, you've been doing reporting about the risk assessment, about just what was in these documents. Educate us on that.
Well, what jumps out to me, John, is when you go to the section on the willful retention of national defense information. By my count, there are 21 top secret documents, and the disclosure of top secret information has the expectation of exceptionally grave damage to national security. But what else stands out to me is some of the classified codings like TK or talent keyhole. You don't see that very often. That's about intelligence from overhead imagery. For example, if we're looking at a terrorist target, do we have such good visibility that we can count the hairs on their head? Can we see what they're eating for breakfast on their terrorist patio? Those are capabilities that we don't want our adversaries to know that we have. Then also special access programs, or SAP. These are highly restricted programs because of the sensitivity of the intelligence and the technology, such as stealth technology, for example. Think of classified information like the Pentagon. Special access programs are these handful of rooms where there's just a limited number of keys to control and restrict access to that information.
So it's not just secret, it's the top of the top.
Some of these are way beyond top secret. Like I said, talent keyhole, when you're talking about special access programs or SCI, sensitive compartmentalized information, these really are the crown jewels of the U.S. intelligence community.
Some of these documents are way beyond top secret national security documents. And leftoids' brains start instantly imploding here. Oh my lord, way beyond top secret documents. Wow, he's definitely a criminal this time. But of course, nobody seems to take 5 seconds to think, well, she's simply describing the nature of the documents. Again, these are still Donald Trump's personal presidential records. They're literally his documents. And it's not like he had them, just laying around in his garage next to his Corvette like sleepy, creepy piss pants Biden, or at his office in Chinatown. It's not like he had thousands of classified documents on an unsecured private email server at his personal home like Hillary Clinton did. No, he had these documents safely stored at his home in Mar-a-Lago with 24/7 Secret Service protection. And probably the most important part, the core of this initial accusation targeting Donald Trump was the destruction of classified information. Remember the infamous supposed damning photographic evidence of documents being torn up and flushed down the toilet at Mar-a-Lago? It was literally just a random piece of paper in a toilet bowl. But the initial charges that the DOJ were pursuing was the destruction of classified information. But it turns out after reading the indictment, none of that is even being alleged at this point. What the indictment is telling you is that Donald Trump is guilty of possessing his own presidential records and documents from his administration, and the real crime is that he refused to give them back. Or there's a recorded phone call between Trump and a supposed Trump staffer who was moving said documents, where Trump briefly sort of discusses, in very vague manner, information pertaining to, one of the documents. Understanding all of the information here, is the expectation that Republican voters are to clutch their pearls? He's a traitor, a foreign spy. He destroyed evidence. No, none of that happened, and the only people who are legitimately guilty of that are the leaders of the Democrat Party. Hillary Clinton actually breaking the law in her handling of classified information, actual destruction of evidence. Joe Biden selling his influence to the highest foreign bidder, and of course, also being guilty of stealing classified information, mishandling of classified information with no security clearance. Clearly, the DOJ is being weaponized to attack Donald Trump, and to understand that dynamic and to not stand by Donald Trump, that, in my view, would be an act of severe cowardice. That's why we're seeing data like this.
There's nothing in polling right now that suggests that Donald Trump is being hurt by federal indictments, by any indictments. The case of New York from a couple of months ago, it may actually have helped his standing. Look at this. This is our 538 polling average back on April 4th. When those charges against Donald Trump in Manhattan were first unveiled, Donald Trump was leading Ron DeSantis, his closest rival, by about 20 points. Now you fast forward 2 months to this weekend, Donald Trump is leading DeSantis by 30 points plus. None of the other candidates are seeing any movement at all. Donald Trump's numbers are going up. Ron DeSantis' numbers a little bit down. Now, it may be that this case is more serious. It may be that his rivals are making the case and they can sort of get in there a little bit and change these dynamics. But for those who are saying that Donald Trump is done politically as a result of facing criminal charges, there's just no evidence of that yet.
People are rallying behind Donald Trump rather than cowering away. The more they go after him, the more reason to stand by him, essentially. And his campaign rhetoric should reflect that. I don't know what the Democrat plan here is, whether they're simply trying to destroy him and it's not working, it's making him more powerful, or whether they're trying to cast him as a martyr and ensure that he wins the Republican nomination process because they believe that they could beat him. I think regardless of what the strategy is here, Democrats are playing with fire and they might live to regret it. That's my view, that's what I got. And that's also the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Of course, you know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.